Hi Libra, welcome to a special reading. This is a Twin Flames reading for September and October 2019. I'm Rena, and I found this spread on emeraldlotus.ca, and that's a great site. Go to it because actually there was a different type of spread that I might do, like a life path spread that I also noticed that the person has, and it looks really good. This one has been really resonating with me in terms of using somebody else's spread, and I was remarking with one of the other signs that I've done so far that this has felt really good, and I hope that you enjoy it. I'm doing 2 months at a time in order to make it less I want more people to just see it going into the month after this, because it's really not a timing type of reading. It's more of a philosophical reading. I wanted to, in case you just are curious and you don't know anything about twin flames, I'm going to read something from this person's site, emeraldlotus.ca, and apparently they got this information from another website. There were a couple of citations here, but it's just really brief. One of them is soulevolution.org. What is a twin flame? Twin flames are the other half of our soul. We each have only one twin, and generally after being split, the two went their separate ways, incarnating over and over to gather human experience before coming back together. Ideally, this happens in both of their last lifetimes on the planet so they can ascend together. So in other words, their last incarnation on Earth. So you probably haven't had many lifetimes with your twin. And I didn't include this in the other readings, but I'll just say this. This other paragraph. Each twin is a complete soul, not a half a soul. It is their task to become more whole, balancing their female and male sides and ideally becoming enlightened before reuniting with their twin. And then this was from another site called Alpha Imaging. When twin flames do incarnate together, the coming together is often chaotic and stressful, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Their reunion is very intense. Their relationship. The romantic, loving version we all think of is really for twin souls. Twin flames come together as two mirrors of each other. They are there to reflect back to each other the truth of themselves. What is reflected is not only the beauty of themselves, but also their imperfections, attachments, and emotional baggage. So just a little explanation for those who are like me, who aren't really that well versed in it. And I'm going to put out the cards now, and I will explain what each card stands for, and also the other thing is that some of the cards you may not see laid out, but I will hold them up, and I can go like this too. I think that all the cards will be shown, but I'll still hold them up, and I'll tell you what each position stands for. So it's been like a lot of fun to do these, actually. So I've been enjoying myself, and I think that's important. Sometimes I feel really awkward when I do somebody's spread. It feels like it doesn't fit sometimes. It doesn't flow. So, okay. This is really more for food for thought than anything else, and that's why I am not having like a very strict timeline and having it like be 2 months, so that when people happen to come across it online in the next couple of months, they can look at it. It's those last two cards that are the trickiest because they're so high up there. Okay. Alrighty then. So, The first card is to represent the energy of you and your twin flame, and this is the Ace of Swords. Now, your swords, Libra, you're connected to the swords. It doesn't have to be an astrological connection, though. Ace of Swords is a card about clarity or truth. So what that suggests to me is that this person could really, that your relationship is very open and honest. And that's the one thing that you have. Maybe you have very clear communication. And especially if this other person is an air or fire sign, this is going to be especially true because those those elements are the ones that are the most, I would say, verbal, straightforward, and things of that nature. Okay, the second card is representing the, and oh, by the way, I just wanted to state with that particular card too, is that you have, because of this type of energy, it's like you can't, it's like you're not lying to yourselves, you're not lying to each other. There's that sense of, if the other person, if you ask that other person their opinion on something, they're going to give it to you. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. The second card is, what is our purpose together in this lifetime? The Fool card. Oh, wow. This reminds me of your opposite sign, Aries, because of that adventurous spirit. So that's what this is all about, is that your connection to this person, why you are together with this person, is to just explore and to kind of always gather new information, whether it's by traveling, whether it's by discussing, learning, new things. This can be intellectual, this can be geographical, where you're actually treading on new space. And in some cases it could be spiritual as well, that you're exploring new spiritual experiences together. But with the Fool card, there is this kind of a desire to kind of experience it through new eyes, where you're not bogged down with emotional baggage. So it's very fresh energy, and because of that, there is this sense that you're probably having a lot of fun with this individual, and there's a sense of freedom. Now, this doesn't mean that this is going to be true 24/7, because as what I had read you stated, these could be very tumultuous relationships. I noted in one of the other videos that I've already done that I think it's important to be aware of whether or not one of these relationships is truly a twin flame situation or just a bad relationship. Sometimes I wonder if they are one and the same, but I would think that if a bad relationship is just one bad thing after the other, that it's not really advantageous to the person. A twin flames relationship really is like your mirror, and so there is that sense of like gaining from that person reflecting back onto you. But this is like the two of you might be partners, like these explorers. So it'd be interesting to know how many of you resonate with that, because I could see people that maybe travel a lot, or they love to, go and see documentaries or art movies and expand their mind, their intellect, and things like that. Okay, so the third position is an important lesson we must learn in this lifetime. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is a card sometimes of like, having a lot on your plate. So it could be about somebody who needs to be more focused, because these other two cards are they seem very active to me, the Ace of Swords and the Fool card. So, especially the typical Libra individual, because you're a cardinal sign and you're an air sign. And just knowing Libra people in my life personally, I just think that a lot of you are very social and you have, your finger in a lot of pies, if you will. And the Two of Pentacles can be kind of a hectic energy. And it's kind of like, master of all trades. Or no, wait a minute, was it called? Jack of all trades, master of none. So being very versatile, but not being an expert in anything. But that's not really what I mean. I mean not focusing. Because the Ace of Swords is really, to me, about gaining clarity. But it doesn't necessarily mean, to me, that sense of focus. And enjoying variety, enjoying being, doing different things, but perhaps being a little bit too, what do they call that? Like, overstretched or something, you know what I mean, something like that. And then it can lead to superficiality, in other words, because sometimes people use their busyness to kind of avoid introspection. How can we grow from this lesson? Okay, let me get this out. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, well, you know what? I just completely eluded me. But the fact that the Two of Pentacles, I mean, this could be, of course, this could be like having two jobs, but just anything that's two is dualism and also making a choice. And I know Librans have a lot of, issues with making choices, right? Making decisions. And so when I picked up the Queen of Wands, one of the things I think about is the working mother. And so, because queens can be mothers, but the Wands is a very independent, the fire energy. And, most of the people that are watching this will be women. But it's actually possible for either gender, because even a man who is out in the world but has a family, that, his thing may be the exact opposite. Doesn't he want to see his children grow up? So maybe he wants to work, to be at home for his children, so he's not just seeing them before they get tucked in at night. So this could be like a dilemma of, I want a career, but I also want to raise a family. The other thing, too, is Queen of Wands is intuitive because the Queen is the feminine energy, but it's also confident. So it's like making those confident decisions, having that confidence in your intuition. I remember reading someplace that when people have a lot of indecisiveness, it's because they don't trust their perceptions. And you could say perception, but you can even say intuition, your gut instincts. And if you don't trust them, you're going to second guess yourself. So I would say something along those lines for for this particular position. Okay, number 5 is what our lives look like after completing this lesson. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. The Tower card. You know, I wonder how many of you Libra individuals are involved with a twin flame who happens to be a Scorpio. Because to me, that, for some reason, I said Scorpio. And really, I can't remember what they said, what planet is connected to the Tower. I think I had made a comment that it should be Pluto, because Pluto is connected to the Judgment card. And I was thinking, no, it really should be the Tower card, because it's all about, this destruction that leads to transformation. And I think it's Mars or something like that. But that's the other ruler of Scorpio, Mars and Pluto. And in any case, so it's total transformation that occurs when you learn how to trust yourself, and you're able to make decisions confidently. And this other person may reflect that back on you. But both of you will be transformed, because you may make different choices than you normally do. Because you're not going to be doubting yourself as much. But, don't think that the Tower card is something negative, because it really does speak about, the ability to change at a profound level. Okay, this is a good one, because, this particular position, something we can do to strengthen our bond. King of Pentacles is, to me, the first thing I think of is, the business owner, the person with who owns the safe, who is the bank manager, or what have you. What this could say is this is a very grounded kind of an energy. So it may be saying that as a couple, you need to do something together that is going to have a tangible reality to it. Libra is an air sign. It's abstract. You may have all kinds of dreams, ideas, but if they stay in your mind, they are very impractical in a sense, because they're not really doing any good in the 3D dimensional world, this material universe. And that might be something that could, create a bonding between you and this other person, is that you are, having a business, if that's something that is appealing to you, or perhaps it is opening some kind of a restaurant. It could even be, something that is very healthy, or, whatever a Libra person, what kind of food does a Libra person like? Probably, gourmet, that has those. I've never been to one of those restaurants where they have, like, the plate is full of edible flowers or something like that. But even, this is, I got the Queen and now I got the King, so it could be starting a family. Of course, this is if other factors support it, you don't want to bring children into the world without a very intentional energy behind it. But yeah, so that's very interesting. It's very practical, very grounded. A way we can heighten our vibration. So this is more on the spiritual level. This is Seven of Cups. This is a card that's connected to Neptune. I was going to make a joke, and this is just a joke. I said, do ayahuasca, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Because Neptune connects with drugs and, probably psychedelics, who knows, anything that can expand your consciousness. But that is totally a joke. Because really, to strengthen your bond, what you can do is go to meditate together, remember they say the family that prays together stays together. Pray together, meditate together, do energy work on each other. Encourage, create, if you're living with this person, create a space, a sacred space in your living quarters that is, something where you are able to feel a sense of peace at all times. So in other words, maybe you decide that you're going to throw out your television set, if you even have one to begin with. Just anything that you can make these, like a safe haven, in a sense. Not a safe space, not a safe space, but a sacred space. Definitely a sacred space. And, don't allow the world to pollute it. The negative part of the world. Of course, the natural world is just, transcendent. So maybe you have a lot of plants, and maybe you rather than watch some kind of, watch the news or something, you have, spiritual movies or something like that. And you just kind of really help each other to kind of feed your consciousness good food, good psychic food. Okay, 8 is something that your twin is mirroring for you. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting one. Temperance. 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. This, to me, I don't know if balance is a synonym for temperance. If you are temperate, isn't that like moderation? If this is really that this other person has an ability, and I'm getting like some of these cards are pentacles. Maybe you're with an earth sign, and this person is showing you the more practical, grounded side of life. The 1 foot on land, but still has that spiritual side that can help you to kind of appreciate that more, because you may need that kind of a grounding, especially if you're someone who has Scorpio inner planets, Mercury, Venus, and or Mars, and if your moon sign can be in any water sign like Pisces or Cancer or Scorpio as well, you may be a lot more prone to kind of veering back and forth, Libra, with your emotions. And perhaps this person has more balance in that regard, especially if they are an earth sign, and if they have, maybe they have a combination of earth and air, and they have that more of it, they're more on an even keel. But they, Librans seek balance. But I always make the joke that Librans sometimes come across to me as a little bit goofy or imbalanced, and I think it's because they crave so much balance that when they don't have it, it's like going off the rails more than the average person. I think all air signs think too much sometimes when they get wound up, and that can lead to just going off, spinning off into things that are simply untrue. I mean, they're just kind of like worst case scenarios or what have you, or kind of overanalyzing things. So this other person may kind of ground you and keep you balanced or show you how you can become more balanced. And then on your end of things, what you can do to help your twin reach their highest potential. And we have the Five of Pentacles. Oh, I wonder if this person is actually a Capricorn. That just came into my mind for some of you, if it is an earth sign. Because the reason I say this is the Five of Pentacles can be, to me, lack consciousness. And obviously you're not helping them to have more of that. But Libra tends to be, I think, financially well off because you have this sense of, I feel like you have like a very positive attitude towards money and attracting more of the same. You know, you're ruled by Venus. So if you're with somebody like a Capricorn who might be, Capricorns are ruled by Saturn, and there's that sense of restriction, that might be the kind of example where you can help them, maybe through law of attraction, to see not only the glass half full, but see their pockets, their wallets full when they feel that sense of lack. And that might just be in their energetic field, like worry, maybe even from past lives, some, remnants from past lives where they were impoverished and they still are operating like they're in that same place, or an earlier time, their childhood, when they didn't have as much, and they may be doing quite well, but they don't feel it, and they're very fear-based. They're very survival, on that survival level. And so you can help them to understand that they have this within themselves and how to kind of relax into feelings of abundance. Okay, Libra, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. And if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.